Hello and welcome to another episode of Cubs on Tap. I'm Joey Ricotta, joined by Nick Hudson. You can follow him at Nick_on tap, me at Joey Knows Nothing, the show at Cubbies on Tap. It's good to be here tonight with you all. Thank you all for joining us. Anyone that's in the comments, please let us know how you feel about this one. Cubs, after losing the first two games of the series in St. Louis, fight back. They take game 3 and then they win today over those dirty Redbirds, 3-0. Today was a big one. We're going to get into it, Nick. But first, how the heck are you?
Hello, Joey. I am doing fantastic, man. You know, we had some technical difficulties to start off the show backstage, much like the Cubs, some technical difficulties in the first part of the series. But I'm excited to break this one down with you. They finished strong and they got the split, and that's all that really matters.
That's all that matters, yeah. For the first time in maybe show history, us having technical difficulties was not my fault.
Yep. It was all me.
So no, I that was not to call you out. I'm very happy to like someone else can join me now. That's all.
Yes.
And I don't have Scott like calling me out for the popcorn and also calling me out here for holy shit, Joey actually showed up. You actually showed up, Scott.
I've been asking, where have you been?
I've been asking, where's Scott from Iowa? And have not seen you in quite some time. So good to see you, Scott, even though I love to give you shit. But yeah, Nick, we have a goal here today. What's our goal? You could tell me.
I think we're shooting for 30 this time.
No. We're shooting for 20.
No, we're shooting for 20. We're hopefully going to hit 30. We're not going past it.
We're not going to actually. Tony's got the over on 20 minutes, by the way. So we need to get right into it. I'm not going to start with today's game. We'll start with game 1 since we're recapping the whole series here. Game 1, 8-2, the Cubs lost. Ben Brown started that one. He just did not have it. The first few innings he was okay in, but then he really got lit up. 8 runs, all of them earned. Bats never really got going. They squeaked out a couple runs, but Matthew Liberatore, he was really damn good against them. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks. The struggles, at least recently, versus left-handed pitching continue. They overall for the year a 113 WRC plus on the season versus lefties, which is damn good. That's top 6, 7 in baseball. But since June 1st, they have an 86 WRC plus versus lefties. And really the Ben Brown, the way he did not show up, I should say. That was all she wrote. Game 1 just sucked. So, yeah, Nick, how much do you want to dive into that one? Because that led to
not much, Joey. I don't want to relive that one at all. I thought we lost. Obviously, Ben Brown gave it up, but I felt we had a chance in the 5th. We had the bases loaded, and once Ian Happ grounded into that double play, I'm just like, well, it's over. I just felt it when the wind just came out of the sails because we've seen them come back down 8 runs more. But after that, it was just kind of like, yeah, Liberatore's going to shut you down. And that was a final nail in Ben Brown's coffin. So he's back down to Iowa. Could have told you that was going to happen when I saw that start. It was pretty horrendous. So, yeah, I mean, not too much to talk about with that one. Honestly, I had that one pegged as a loss. I thought it might be the only loss of the series. I was wrong. Nonetheless, I had it as a loss. So, for what it's worth, I did have it as a loss.
Well, I always love your positive, your positivity, your optimism here, Nick. Being sarcastic, but usually you are. But I will say though, that was a game. It was the nail in the coffin for Ben Brown, at least for the time being. You can't continue to keep putting him out there if he's going to keep struggling like this. So, like you said, you could see that coming right after that, getting the demotion, and then I forget who was called. It was Porter Hodge. That's right, Porter Hodge returned for Ben Brown because Michael Fulmer was already here. But game 2, Nick, since we don't want to really talk too much or dwell on game one, game two, the bats actually came to life. That was
Yep.
really good to see. It was a very winnable game after they came back from being down 8-5 after blowing a 5-2 lead that they had in the third inning. They were able to get to the Cardinals rookie 2021 first round pick Michael McGreevy, who they tagged him up for 5 earned runs, and he didn't make it through 5 innings, which I thought was really nice to see because McGreevy is, even though he's a rookie or really young, he's been pretty damn good for them in the limited action that he's pitched so far. But unfortunately, JMO Tyon was not good. 8 earned runs, back-to-back games where the Cubs starters allow 8 earned runs. The bullpen didn't allow anything, so that kept them in the game. Really felt like they still had a chance to win the game, and being down 8-7. But there was a lot happening in this one, Nick. The between the PCA blunders and there was a lot. We had some positives too. We had the Seiya Suzuki 3-run homer. We had Nico finally hitting his first home run of the season. But let me get your quick thoughts and reactions to that one, and some of the things that really stuck out about that game for you.
Yeah, much like you said, just Tyon didn't have it. It was the worst time for that home run ball to bite him. It's bit him earlier in this season. Few games, actually. He's given up a lot of home runs this year, and it was just raining home runs. And I knew that it was going to be really tough to come back from that. But they did, and that's the whole thing. Once Nico hit that bomb, I was like, they're going to do it. They're going to come back, and then they're going to win this series. Like, I just really had that feeling in me. Positivity, right?
There you go.
It just didn't come to fruition, and that's okay. It happens. But, guys like Thielbar and Flexen, Pomeranz, and Presley, they all did their job that day. So it's like they really gave the offense an opportunity to win it, even after Tyon had such a poor start. Where guys have really bad starts, sometimes the bullpen follows, and they just kind of fall apart because there's already a crooked number up there, and they kind of pitch to contact, and it can get out of hand really quick. But all those guys did really well and gave you an opportunity. I think they only gave up 2 hits combined. So didn't happen, but that's okay. A big thing that stood out for me, and I've said this all season, and it's been an unpopular opinion, and I don't care. I played a lot of baseball. You've played baseball. You're still playing baseball. I really focus on fundamentals, and I feel like even when you're the best of the best, you have to focus on fundamentals. And for me, I love Pete Crow Armstrong. I'm so high on him. I was the one that predicted him to the All-Star game before anyone even thought it. But he is way too casual out there in center field. He just is, just flat out. Like the way he catches the ball, all that stuff, and it finally bit him. And it bit him in a bad way because he forgot how many outs there were. And that is like a huge rookie mistake. But we know he's not a rookie. He owned up to it. He is a guy that is just a solid player and all-around good guy. So I don't want to rag on him too much, but that was the difference of the game right there. And when you're playing, your division rivals, you can't have a lapse in judgment like that at all. Like that just cannot happen. And when, being the guy that he is with the speed, I saw that
flies.
I saw that coming a mile away. As soon as I saw him catch that ball, I knew that he forgot how many outs there were because he was way too casual with it. Which, granted, it was a good catch. He makes really good catches, but at the same time, like, just know how many outs there are. Know the situation. And my dad actually said it would have been a lot worse if he would have turned away and threw the ball in the stands. I'm like, you got a point there. That would have looked a hell of a lot worse.
That was was it Milton Bradley?
I think it was Milton Bradley.
Yeah.
I mean, that's happened before in the MLB, but yeah, you wouldn't expect it out of a guy like PCA, but I've seen out where he's out there and he's a little too casual. Like for me, if in situationally, put your 2 hands up and squeeze the ball. Like just do it because you never know when you're going to like try to look cool and catch it to the side and it's just going to fall out. And that could be the difference in the game. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but that was a big that really soured the game for me. And even if they would have won that game, I think I still kind of would have been pissed off at the fact that it got so close there, but they weren't able to pull it out, unfortunately.
No, they weren't, and like you said, that was the difference in the game. And then him, trying to bunt in that one situation where I don't necessarily think that it was terrible that he was trying to bunt. It wasn't good, but let's just say it wasn't good. And he didn't do his job, and but I do like and appreciate that he was able to take accountability after the game and say, hey, I didn't do a good job of playing baseball today. Yes, that was it. I forgot how many outs there were. Sure. Simple as that. All is forgiven. You come back tomorrow. You play the game. We know what caliber player you are. We know you're in the MVP race. We know how good you are. Mistakes happen. We just have to remember that this guy, even as good as he is just still a very young player. Like you said, Nick, he's not a rookie, but he still has that, like, okay, we need you to be like play into the veteranship, right? Like, we know you're playing into your peak. Pete is playing into his peak, but he needs to play into that veteranship just a little bit. And that's all going to come with time. And I think, like, it's mistakes like that I would much rather have happen now. It's just like I say with anything that bad that happens even right now. Like, I would much rather happen now than happen in September or happen in October, if they do end up making it that far. But so that was not good, but 8-7 loss there. It's a heartbreaking one. But like we said, there were some positives. Nico hitting the home run, his first of the year. Seiya with the big bomb. It wasn't all terrible. And I really like Scott's comment here, and kind of something that you touched on there, Nick. 14 innings from the bullpen, he says, giving up 0 runs over the 4 games. The bullpen, again, was absolutely nails in this series. And we got a couple other games we got to talk about, but I do like that he pointed that out. Darren here says, yes, it was Milton Bradley into the crowd, 2 outs, run scored. Yeah, I remember it. I mean, I was trying to think about who it was. Absolutely, it was Milton Bradley, and I'm glad that not the only person there that. And Darren definitely remembers that one. That was one that hurt a lot of Cubs fans. I saw somebody tweet out after this game, is Wilson Contreras one of the most hated ex-Cubs? No, there was a long list, in my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion later on this, Nick, or even
Milton Bradley's one of them.
Milton Bradley's one of them, and it's for that reason alone. And there's a lot of other reasons, though, too, that Milton Bradley was just not a likable Cub or ex-Cub. But neither here nor there about that. That's one of Ron's favorite sayings, by the way. Neither here nor there. I'm Ron Ricotta today.
Neither here nor there.
So we're Joey Loose. Anyway, so game 3, turn it around after going 0-2 to start the series. 8-0. They get the W. Everything was cooking. You got Happ with the bomb, McGuire, Tucker, all of them go yard. They whoop Eric Fetty-Wap's ass. Matthew Boyd, 6 shutout innings. Another gem from him. This was also the game that Porter Hodge returned, and he got through it. He definitely got through it. I did notice, and I was looking at his fastball. Not to say that it was going to be up to snuff right away coming off the injury, and he's been out for quite some time now, but his fastball velo was down a little bit. So that's something to kind of monitor. I think maybe it's just a case of him getting worked back into things. But 8-0, fine. Piece of cake. Love that, Nick. Thoughts on game 3?
That was a great one. That was a big exhale for me. I was kind of worried about this team after those 2 losses in a row to the Cardinals. I thought the momentum was definitely slipping. I thought that things could go south really quickly if you lose that game yesterday, and they just made it not even a question. 11 hits, 8 runs, and they continued to pound the baseball. Ian Happ started it off, which was awesome. And how about Reese McGuire, man? That guy just hits bombs. Like, I did not expect Reese McGuire to come up and take Amaya's spot and just be hitting bombs like this left and right. Another White Sox guy. I think he was on the White Sox at some point.
I don't know. They've
maybe I'm
had
wrong.
so many weird, like,
I think he
I know he
was.
was
I
with the
know he was gone.
Jays for sure.
Yeah, he was with Jays. He's been with a lot of people. And then, of course, it's Kyle Tucker doing it. But it was great to see. It was great to see the bats out in full swing yesterday, no pun intended. And even guys like Matt Shaw, productive plate appearances. And that's what you want to see, especially when you're scuffling like he is. Just get guys in, do things like that, move guys over, anything but a strikeout. So it was great to see. You needed that. You absolutely needed the bats to come to life yesterday, and they did. And to your point, like the bullpen absolutely nails. And Boyd, like what more
Boyd
can you say
again.
about Boyd? He could literally be in the All-Star game. He could be an All-Star. Like there's no question about it. If you look at how he's done, he could be. He's up there. So he kind of put the team on his back, but the offense kind of said, we don't even need you to do that. We got you too, big boy. So that was a great one. And obviously they set themselves up for the split today.
Yeah, that was a big bounce back game, that game 3, though. That was a pivotal, like, you can't lose 3 of 4 to the Cardinals, and at least to put them in position. I mean, I still would have felt terrible if they lost this game today, the fourth game of the series, but winning that by such a it wasn't even a close game, like a commanding victory like that in game 3. It made things that much better, and I think it really got them back on track and gave them some confidence. And the other thing that'll give them confidence anytime he's out there, because the Cubs as a whole are 29-9 when this guy takes the mound. Shota Imanaga returning finally. Shota Imanaga, yo mama, he was their daddy today. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. That guy, it is just awesome to see him back there on the mound. Michael Busch, he became the first Busch, according to Sarah Slangs, who I saw on Twitter, the first Busch to homer at Busch Stadium. And I spelled it like that because, here, let me show you my little thing I did. It's really stupid, but once I get it on the screen, I'm not a tech person. Here we go. Busch Stadium, because I'm really convinced that every Cards fan in attendance is paid to stay, and they're paid to be there. So it's per diem because they are on the job.
I love that. That's awesome.
And their attendance just looked freaking ridiculously bad.
Terrible.
When you're facing your rival and you're in a division race. Like, wow, God, get some get your game up over there, St. Louis Cardinals fans. Not sure. I saw quite a bit of Cubs fans traveling to see their team at Busch Stadium, and you guys were just not there for your team. So maybe that's why you guys lost the second to the back half of the series. But Nick, thoughts on Shota Imanaga returning to the mound and looking incredible?
Oh, it was so good to have him back out there. What a personality to have on Mr. Mike on the mound, to have him back. It's great to see. And he shut him down. Coming back off an injury, in a long extended stay on the injured list, and then to do what he did, he was on a pitch count too, I think like 80 pitches. To give you 5 solid innings of 1 hit baseball, come on. You can't ask for anything more than that. And he set him up because they were only able to scratch 3 runs in this game, and that's all that they really needed, because he got them to where they needed to be. And the bullpen, once again, came in completely nails. So it was great to see. It was such a relief. I don't know about you, but I just had such a big relief after these last 2 games, because I was getting a little bit worried. The negative Nick was coming out a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little worried that they were going to slip down a bad rabbit hole of just awful. If they got swept, it would have been bad. So this is just a wash. A split is just a wash, and they are basically, the Cardinals are right where they were coming into the series on Monday, and we can just all breathe easy. But it was so great to have Shota Imanaga out there, and you knew he was going to replace somebody, and you can just see already how different this rotation is going to be. Just with like a guy like Shota Imanaga, just a workhorse kind of guy, and now Boyd and Imanaga are your two big guys in this rotation.
Yeah.
So
both lefties, just like him and Steele. So yeah.
Exactly. So it really ended up working out, and I'm just hoping that they can stretch out Shota, and I want to see some like more 8-inning games out of him because he can do it. Maybe even a complete game. Who knows? But it's awesome to see. And honestly, like this game was a really good all-around baseball game. Like if you're into baseball, and you're not just all about seeing the ball go over the fence, it was a good game. There were a lot of moments where you're like holding your breath a little bit, and I'm sure we're going to get into the bottom of the ninth there, but it was a good baseball game. It was great to see, and as I say always, when you're working, it makes it a hell of a lot better when the Cubs get a win.
I think that's the only way to consume baseball when you're working, is if the Cubs win. Like otherwise, it's just like holy crap. Well, you know what though? If you're working and they lose, then it's like, all right, well, I didn't miss a bad one, but
true,
didn't miss a good one, I should say. But still, it makes you feel that much better about getting through the day. But you alluded to it with the way that everything shook out in that game. It was definitely an entertaining game. Bullpen was nails again in this final one. After even though he was excellent through 5 innings, he could only give you those 5 innings because he's not quite built up yet. The bullpen was great. Palencia in the 9th inning, he allowed those first 2 base runners to reach, and then one of them being the hit by pitch after he hit Wilson Contreras, who acted like a baby back whiny bitch. Like, let's just call it what it is.
Willie the Least.
Willie the Least. He's not Willie the Beast anymore. Like,
wow, I like that.
This dude, I don't hate him as much. I saw the question out there, like I said, about who's the most hated ex-Cubs. He's not on that list for me because of what he did while he was here. And I think this is 2 things, right? One, that situation, and on no planet, no way is Daniel Palencia trying to hit him in that situation. Because why would you do that? You're going to bring the tying run to the plate in that situation. It doesn't make any sense. The Cubs need to win this game. They care about winning games. So him looking over at Palencia after he gets hit and whatever was said, I don't know. And then Palencia is just kind of like, what, dude? What? Like they go to first base. I like how Palencia, though, I give him a lot of credit because, and I'm going to say all this, but Wilson did apologize afterwards and say, he doesn't want to fight with the Cubs and yada, yada. He knows Palencia. Like, this isn't a real beef. Like, this is a heat of the moment type thing. Both these dudes are Venezuelan. They have that hot blood in them, like Italians. You get fired up. Like, things happen.
Yep.
Nick, you argue. I'm sure you've had arguments with your family before. Like, that's it happens, and then you move on. But dude, no way, shape, or form is he trying to fight with him. I love how Palencia kept his calm, though, and I think it actually worked against the Cardinals in this situation because Palencia locked the fuck in, man. He struck out the next 3 guys, and then I love the celebration. And like, did he have to look at Willie after that? I don't know, but I think that was his way of saying, like, look, dude, I'm gonna take it out on you on the field.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I agree with you 100%. Like, it's such a bitch move to think that he's purposely hitting you and bringing the tying run up to the plate there. Like, he's not hitting you in that situation. In no way, shape, or form is he purposely hitting you. And Contreras kind of just pisses me off in general because he gets into it with everyone. And I know, like, you talked about, like, their hot blood with the culture and everything. I get all that, but, like, he doesn't do it at the right times, right? So, like, if you're going to, like you said, take it out on the field. If you're going to go and take it on the field, do it. But, like, he does it in bitch ways. Like, honestly, he's just Sometimes, man, sometimes it really annoys me. Like, if you're going to be a hothead and you're going to go out and just perform all over the place, fine. But like you said, like he picks the wrong spots, and that was definitely the wrong spot there. But even Burleson, which by the way, sidetrack, why did Burleson turn into like a Gold Glove defender this season or this
Wow,
series?
he's
Like
been
what
awesome.
the
Yeah,
fuck was that? He's a bad defender. He's a
I don't
bad
know how he
defender.
was so good though.
I think it was just like the rivalry, maybe like it just like got him going. But I was looking at my girlfriend. I'm like, what? He's not supposed to be this good. Just so we're clear, like
He's a
he's not
converted
supposed to be.
outfielder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. The whole thing is like he overperformed in so many spots there. The Cubs could have like taken the lead and won the game in certain areas. Like he saved the game a few times. So it was like, holy crap. But he was calming Wilson Contreras. He was like, settle down. When your own teammate is telling you to settle down, you know you're in the wrong. So
well, that's the thing though. That goes back to when he was like the guy, right? When everyone else got traded and it was like him and Hap, and pretty much that was it. It's like if you're a leader, you shouldn't be the one that needs to get held back.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And like one of the things that always rubbed me the wrong way, or like I wondered about, was remember when they got in that fight, him and Rizzo in the dugout, and like it was towards the end of Rizzo's tenure as a Cub, and they got into that. I mean, they were playing bad baseball. Like things were happening on the field that shouldn't have been happening. Mistakes, not thinking clearly, errors. You know, sometimes it was just as simple as physical dumb errors, but like the way that interaction went down in the dugout, I was like, you know, Rizzo doesn't strike me as the dude that like would be fighting with his teammates.
Yeah.
Whatever this is, I felt like, and I had it was an assumption, and maybe I'm wrong for thinking this, but like I kind of was like, what did Willie do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is he attacking Rizzo? Because like if I remember right, the play that I'm thinking about, and I don't know what the exact play was, it was a play that might have been Rizzo's fault or something like, and Wilson was like taking it out on him. And it's like, dude, pick your teammates up, man. When shit happens on the field, you got to pick your teammates up. That's what a leader does. You don't go attack them. You don't say, "Oh, can't believe you missed that ball." Like we say that on the after show, like, "Oh, you needed to make that play." You know, but we're not on the team. If we're on the team, I'm not going to look at you and say you should have made that play. I'm going to look at you and be like, "Hey, go get it. It's all right. It's all good.
Get him
Let's
next
go."
time. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He does strike me as not a team player, more of like play for himself type of guy. And you know, honestly, it's
He
possible
wants to
that the
win
Cubs
though. That's for
organization
sure.
saw it. He does want to win. He does want to win. I mean, he's a gamer. He for sure is a gamer. Like he's got that fire in him to an extent where, like you said, you got to be a team player. And if you can't bring the fire and be a team player, because that's the best combination when you're a guy like that, but then like you live and die by the team. That's the best combination. But he just isn't that. So it was interesting. I mean, I wasn't shocked like at all that he was upset when it hit him. I knew he was going to be upset. I mean, it was up and in, you know, no one likes to get hit up there, but you just got to realize he's not doing it on purpose, especially in that situation. He's just not. There's just no way.
Just have some common sense, man. That's all.
Yeah, that just makes you look dumb, like honestly.
It really was not a good look for him. I got to point this out. Nick, we are the Italian on tap show here.
It's my mom.
Is that your mom? Okay.
That's my mom. Yeah.
So, funny story, Nick. I didn't know this, obviously, but I remember that I do now that you said the Ancona name that you mentioned to me before. But so a Bob Ancona here in Rockford. I don't know if you're related to any Anconas in Rockford.
No, I don't think so.
He's working on my dad's AC unit today. So, or was, and then we'll be back tomorrow. So that is just a really small world.
It is.
I don't know. It might be like a really distant relative or something.
I'll have to ask my mom.
You got to talk to her. Maybe if she's still here. Go ahead, pop in the comments, Mom. But yeah, Bob man, no, Bob Ancona. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somewhere down the line. yeah, that was pretty much it, man. Ball game over, and the Cubs were able to split after the third game here, which was awesome. It felt like a series victory, really. Even though you're on the road too, you're facing your rival. I think if you could split against the Cardinals, it's really not terrible. There's no games lost against them in particular, so not terrible there. Any final thoughts, Nick, or what's your final conclusion, I guess, that you came to for the whole series as a whole?
Yeah, I like the way the series ended up playing out. I think they're better for it because if they just came in and, easily won 3 out of 4, maybe they don't have that wake up moment. But I think they had that wake up moment. And I think it was this series. And I think they're going to carry it into the rest of the season because Milwaukee's red hot. They got to really perform. They got to really go on a good stretch of baseball here. So I'm hoping this was their wake-up call and they don't need anything else. And now the offense is just going to be the way that we knew this offense could be moving forward. So I'm actually happy with the way it turned out. I'll take a wash. I think anyone with a 4-game series against the Cardinals would have said, yeah, I'll take a wash. So we'll take it.
Definitely. We will take it. There's a lot of good comments that we'll get to here in a second. But before we do that, let's look ahead to what's on tap for this next upcoming weekend series. We have a trip to Houston. I don't know, Nick. Do we have a problem? We've got Friday night. We have Cade Horton versus Brandon Walter, a lefty, which has been giving the Cubs some problems lately. And then on Saturday, we have a 6:15 start. It looks like Colin Ray, who's been struggling really badly lately, versus TBD, but it sounds like Lance McCullers is eligible to be activated off the IL on Saturday, so it sounds like it could be him. I don't know if that's maybe at this point, now that we're on here live, that has been announced. I don't know. Sunday, 1:10 start, daytime game with Jameson Taillon coming up off of the 8 earned run outing versus Framber Valdez. So it's tough sledding here going to Houston. You do have a little bit of momentum after these last 2 victories, like we said. So what do the Cubs need to do, Nick, and what do you expect them to do against the Houston Astros?
I think it could be low-scoring games against the Houston Astros, unless they take advantage of the Crawford boxes, which is very possible. I mean, if they can do that, that'd be great, especially against the lefty. But the thing is they, like you said, they've struggled against lefties, and they're going to have to overcome that. But hopefully this pitching can kind of keep you in it. The starting pitching kind of ran into a rut this last couple rotations. So maybe they also got the heebie-jeebies out, and maybe they can kind of perform. But Ray kind of scares me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be interesting to see what this offense does, though, in Houston against those arms. And honestly, like I said, take advantage of the ballpark, but also you're going to see Cam Smith there. So that's going to be a fun storyline to talk about, too. I mean, we got Tucker, so really there is no storyline there. But at the same time, I mean, Cam Smith is Cam Smith, so people are going to talk about it still, especially with the whole, well, what if you don't sign Tucker? But definitely. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And I heard Tucker say that he was an emotional guy, so maybe he will get emotional. I mean, I'm expecting probably like a montage, like a video montage that they'll put together or something there for Tucker. So that'll be fun. It's always fun when guys go back to their old ballpark and see their old team and everything. And maybe he's got a little extra something to play for, and maybe he takes the series, and runs with it. Who knows? So I'm looking forward to it. Just another good hard series is what we need. We need that offense. We really need the offense to perform because the starting pitching is not as great as we thought it was. So kind of got to lean on the offense here, even with the lefties.
Yeah, and can't guarantee that the bullpen's going to continue this dominance again after 4 straight games of standing on their head, and you don't have your 2 best starting pitchers in this series. So, it's definitely going to be a challenge. I will look to. That'll be my, if we're doing fly the W picks, we haven't done that really in a while, but I will take Kyle Tucker. And exactly what we said, Nick, the last time we did a show, They're like, oh, anytime your theory held true, thank God it
Yep.
happened later. But
I
tailed you. I tailed you on PCA, but I was like, man, Tucker's going yard tomorrow.
And you did. Tucker went yard. You were probably upset, but then PCA, to my theory, went yard as well.
I was upset, but we weren't dead in the water. But you know what happened to me today? And I mean, I put this in the Slack. Fucking A, man. Everybody was on Bush for their dinger pick. So I took Bush without looking at anyone's pick because I just like popped in and I was like, I have to pick someone, hurry. And then I looked and I was like, everyone, like 2 other people were on Bush today. So I'm like, oh, scratch that. Let's go with Tucker. And then Bush homers. And I'm like, man, come on. Come on, bro. Gut. Like, gotta stick with your guns. Yeah, that happened. Scott says here, J-Mo is a Houston native and ready to dominate on Sunday. All right. See, there we go. We need those little nuggets here, Scott. Thank you.
I like that. Let's go.
Shut up, Scott. Fake news. Joey can't pronounce bocce ball correctly. I just did. Yeah, there's a lot of really good comments in here. I'm trying to like go back to because there was questions in here too. Let's see. I think it was a Chris Sale thing. Yeah. Scott asked, Lugo, Gallon, or Sale, who is the guy you want at the deadline? If you're giving me an option for all those, I want Chris Sale out of all those.
Yeah.
Hank
but he's
also
not says traded.
Yeah, Hank says the same thing. I don't see Sale being traded anytime soon with rib fractures. Wait, does he have what happened? I didn't even see that he was hurt now.
Yeah.
He just got hurt?
Yeah, he's hurt, yeah.
Fucking A. Okay. Well, that's
but they weren't going to trade him anyways. They weren't going to trade him.
Well, yeah, because he had 1 year left, right, after this?
Yeah, he's 1 year. It was funny. Boob Nightingale said that Sandy Alcantara is the biggest prize on the market of starting. Like, I get it, but I would rather go somewhere else. Like,
he's starting to figure it out. He's starting to figure it out. I like Mitch Keller. I've always liked Mitch Keller. Like back to like the 2019, like when he was coming up. Dude, Bednar too. He had a little bit of a rough patch, but
yeah.
All right, which package do you prefer? Keller and Bednar or Gallon and Eugenio Suarez?
Oh, Gallon and Eugenio Suarez 1,000 times over, dude. Okay. I would love to see any. And the whole thing with Eugenio Suarez is he doesn't have much. It wouldn't take much because he's definitely a rental. He's just going to be like he's got.
I think he's still going to cost a little bit.
It'll still cost, but it's not going to be like years of control type of price. But so dude, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I think they're looking around for third base. I think Matt Shaw kind of worries them a little bit with this lack of production. His glove is obviously there, and we could probably go on and on about, Matt Shaw and what they should do. But when you're a team that wants to push in all your chips, you should be looking around at that position, in my opinion. You should definitely keep your eyes open for a guy like Eugenio Suarez. He's a Cubs killer, so imagine him.
Do it for us.
Yeah, dude, I just get jacked. He loves hitting at Wrigley Field. It would be awesome for him in the dead of summer to be at Wrigley Field. Oh, it'd be so good.
It reminds me a lot like when Jim Edmonds came to the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had that same feeling of like, man, I freaking hate this dude. But he's here. And like, okay, let's do it. Do it for the Cubbies then. Like,
I hate Suarez too, but man, that would change overnight if they got him.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Some piece like 50 homers.
So a lot of good comments here, though. Like that actually goes back to one that I saw here about how we felt. Darren, he says, I'm at the point I'd rather we get one stud starter with control rather than a couple decent rentals before deadline. How about you guys? So that kind of goes to your point of like, hey, do you Suarez is a rental. Part of this too, like I know we want hitting as well. Like the hitting has been, I think the hitting's still going to get itself figured out too, even through the struggles here. But Matt Shaw is like the one spot where you're like, all right, that's a kind of a dead spot in the lineup.
It is.
But are you like I kind of don't mind this idea either because like I think the most important thing like luxury would be third base. Most importance to me is starting pitching. Like I don't we need that, and if we can get the best starting pitcher on the market, whoever that is,
Yeah.
I think I'm more on board with that, Darren. Like I'm totally for
Yeah.
that. And if that's with control, then great. If not, I mean, go for it this year. I'm
I'm
cool
the
either way.
same. Yeah, I'm the same exact way, man. If it's with control, without control, just get the best one on the market. Focus on starting pitching and then build from there. But that's your main thing you got to go for. Because I mean, there's
Yep.
going to be burnout. These guys are throwing a lot of innings, and who knows what's going to happen. You already have an injury with Steele, and it's just you never know.
Yeah. Swanson has the lowest OBP from all the
Dude,
starters
we can
today,
go
and
on
then
and on about Swanson and Craig Counsell. I'm actually glad we didn't bring it up because
well, we just
one,
did.
it'll take us a lot of time.
We're
But
not gonna.
two,
Yeah.
yeah, it
We're not
just
going to
pisses
actually
me.
get into it, but it pisses me off
No.
too. But I'm I'm much more of the mindset these days that even though he's hitting fifth, sixth, or whatever, he's hitting fifth. I'm more of the mindset of it doesn't matter necessarily where you hit in the lineup. Like I don't want your best guys hitting towards the bottom. You need to be hitting towards the top. But like once you start getting further down of like 5 through 9, because like I don't really want a weak spot down in the order either. So like let's say you flip Nico and him. I mean I would just have Bush at fifth and like move everyone else down a spot or whatever and then flip
Yeah,
everything. But like I don't want the 7 through 9 to be like auto outs either, you know? So that's kind of where it's like, all right, it is a little bit of a balance. Like I feel like sometimes it's just noisy. It's so
sure.
noisy.
Yeah,
Like,
it can be. Well, the whole thing with Swanson, and I agree with you on the most part with that whole thing, because it doesn't matter. Like you said, you need balance and everything. But the whole thing with Swanson is, I think it's in his head. I think he knows he bats better lower in the lineup, and I think it kind of screws with him when he is in the fifth hole. I really do. I
yeah,
really think that he does better lower in the lineup. He's just got to just. And Bush should be above Swanson. It just should be happening. He should be
all the
batting.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just puzzling to me that you have a manager that's getting paid so much money at making these decisions. But I mean, I don't know. I look at they stole that run late in the game today with Swanson running and PCA at third. They threw such
True.
idiots to throw that ball. But I mean,
They forgot about him too. It's like, what are you
yeah,
doing?
I know. I'm like, I did not think it was going to be that easy. JD called it too, to his credit. It's like
Yeah.
I would run Swanson here, and sure enough, they did. But yeah, I
Who,
mean,
who are you taking in a street fight? Scott says, Willie or Palencia?
Valencia all day. I go young blood with a street fight. Contreras is
I,
old now to me.
I think he's
Wilson
more
Contreras is old.
Willie the least. He's all bark right now.
But I do love hearing Pat Hughes say his name. So it's fun when him and Milwaukee you get to hear the other brother's name. I love how Pat Hughes calls him Contreras.
Wilson Contreras.
Contreras.
Yeah, love it. It's like the A Eugenio. Yeah, he's great. Bush needs to be in the lineup against the lefty, but Craig is going to listen to the nerds and start Turner.
I don't know if he will start Turner. I'm
I don't
willing
know,
to put a
man.
bet on that.
Turner
Yeah.
hasn't been good.
I don't think he is. If he does, then we're gonna demote Craig Counsell to Iowa.
There you go. He's getting the next. We're gonna call up Michael Fulmer because he wasn't even that bad. He just had to go.
Yeah, poor Michael Fulmer, man. He did really well.
Got my issues with him, but that was a different season.
Yeah, I know. Everyone has a sour taste about him. That's probably why they picked him to come up and go down right away.
100%. It was the scapegoat. Just a little rental for the time being, but Nick, we didn't hit our mark.
We're close.
I mean, 45 is not bad. 45 is not terrible. Final thoughts before we wrap this puppy up tonight.
Honestly, I hate the Cardinals so much. So to win 2 out of 4, thank God, because my sanity was being tested for the first 2. Hearing the chirping Redbird Cardinal fans, dirty losers, their empty stadium. So
Yep.
thank you for saving my sanity, Cubs.
Bush stay per DM. Bush stay DM. The over cashes again. You're right, Scott. Tony, your cousin said he's got the over on 20 minutes. We knew that was going to hit.
Yeah.
We just try to make you guys some money. That's all. So thank you guys all for joining us tonight. And just as a reminder, you guys can catch all of the Chicago sports content at ontapsportsnet.com. Go ahead and check us out over there. Then check out the X account at OnTap Sportsnet. That's the main. And then Cubs on Tap is at Cubbies on Tap, Cubbies. Nick is at Nick_on tap. You can go ahead and check out the rest of the gang as well. I'm sure you can find their handles. A lot of them, I believe, are here in this banner and a part of the show titles as well. So you know where to find us. I am at Joey Knows Nothing. We are Cubs on Tap. So with that said, Nick, let's get out of here the only way we know how every single time.
Fuck the Fugazi Cardinals.
And let's go Cubbies.